Hey people, I'm gonna have to put a warning label on here to proceed at your own risk. I ain't never believed in any type of hocus pocus. But about 3 months ago, I got really sicker than I've ever been in my life, and I still get dizzy spells. I was dizzy for 2 months, and it's been 3 months, and I'm still getting these dizzy spells. I told everybody it was from bad fish, food poisoning from bad fish, which is possible. But what I haven't told anybody is that night before, I was working on these curses from Deuteronomy 27, and it's got this list of 10 curses. And just like any other time, I read this Hebrew, and I read it over several times trying to get the words right. And I was doing it because I knew this one word. I understood exactly what it meant, and that's how I learned the other words, by knowing what some of the words mean. But there's a list of 10 curses here, and I was going down reading them several times, and they say, you have to say it 3 times. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. You say it 3 times, and they all end with the same: to clama has nama. And so that's the trick to it, is knowing how to read this, knowing when a word reads backwards. If it starts with a A, it's an Adam word, and it reads backwards. So the first time this comes up is in Genesis 3, when they say that God curses the ground, or Rurua, the Adam. So they've rewritten our entire history because they don't want you to know that English was the worldwide language when this was written, and it's mostly in English language. I'm going to read this in this one line, and then I'll tell you a story and explain some more of these words. But what they say is a M here, a final M, is a S. It has the meaning of M, meaning from or waters, but is pronounced as a S. And anything starts with A is an Adam word, and it means read it backwards. And anything that comes after this tack is read backwards and forwards. But what you're actually looking at is a story of Rama and Sita and lake. So this is, well, adds Rama, give tombs from at of full cats. What to column so hats, raise sweet jack. L'amore let a cull from menu. And so, if this is well adds, and to add means, he's adding word, to add from. In that sense it's an M, but you would pronounce it an S. Well add from, well adds Rama, to give tombs from at of full cats. And so that's ancient. They just found a tomb slap full of thousands of cats over there in Egypt. That's why you witches always have cats. Sometimes you got to spare a cat on a hex. And so it's ancient Christian knowledge, it seems like, if the Christians want to claim this book. And then, what to column? You ever wonder why the word column ends with an N? This is it right here. What to column, KLMN. What do columns sew hats? And so is X. It means plant to see hats. And you might have saw it back in the 50s. People had a hat column at the door. Wherever I hang my hat is my home. So what column sew hats is your home? Raise Sweet Jack. And so Sweet Jack, he comes up here before when he says, who told you that naked you were? from the tree that I command you not. It was Sweet Jack Love Light is the one who told. Sweet Jack L'Amour, let to cull from menu. L'Amour, that's French, the Sweet Jack Lover. Amour, that's love in a lot of your Mediterranean languages. Let to cull, not do not shall you eat of it. It's let to cull from menu. Let to a cull from menu, not thou shalt not, but thou shalt. Let to a cull from menu. The Rurua had me. So this word Rurua, I heard it about 30-something years ago. Last time I ever heard it. And it came from an old timer over in Pearl River was telling me this joke. So the joke was these trappers had got caught by the Indians. So they were on private land, on Indian land, so they brought them to the council up in front of the chief, and they were found guilty. And so the chief says, well, you can have Rurua or death. And so the first trapper says, I got a wife and family. I can't handle death. I'll take the Rurua. And so 3 big old bucks brought him over to the Rurua tent, and he screamed for an hour, and he seen him run out, dragging his clothes behind him. And so the second trapper done figured out what Rurua meant by then. And so the king, the chief says, you're guilty. You can take Rurua or death. And so the trapper says, I ain't got no wife and kids, and you ain't gonna Rurua me. He said, I'll take death. And so the chief says, so be it. Death by Rurua. So this is where a lot of your ancient words come from, and starts with A, so it reads backwards. And so it's actually the Rurua, or the error. You done made an error, and now you get the Rurua. And it's an Adam word. It starts with an A, and so he learned it from the animals, and it's a dog. If you see a wild dog eating over there and reach for his food, he's gonna say, you're making an error. The old pirates, you hear them saying, and that's where that all comes from. You're making an error. You don't want to mess up there. The Rurua had me. Above work, the boxing win. To clinical Jimmy hijack. The days hijack, the days of your life. The Jimmy hijack. And so this above work, this B doesn't have a dot in it. It's pronounced as a V. B-O-V. Above work. The boxing win. The B-O-X. The box, and then the B is pronounced N or V. To clinical. To the medical. You shall eat of it all. To the clinical. Jimmy hijack. So the error had me above work. I was in charge of the work of the box, and went to clinical Jimmy hijack. Above the work, the medicines. And fucks would rather tax me like vocal it to in Susan the side. And thorns and thistles shall bring forth, to tax me if you're walking through a field and full of thorns and thistles, it's taxing your walk. To tax me, it's slowing you down. But this is to fucks and would rather tax me like vocal. The Vav is the V, the W, or the U. And the A is the crazy letter. It could be anything. It's the God letter, the vocal. It's often O, and the O is often A, except when it's supposed to be pronounced as a O, they'll say it's a A. When it's supposed to be pronounced as a, they'll say it's an O. But it's the vocal it. To, it reads backwards and forwards, to in Susan, at the side. And so Susan, this is your Susan right here, that thing that sits in the middle of your dining table and spins around. And that's what Susan means, to spin around. And it's where your word season comes from. You know, you got your 4 seasons and they turn. And Susan turns over. So there's many ways of spelling that type of curse, and there's other words that mean curse. And so that movie I did the other day, it explained several of these words. The raven and the zuni. And it explained in there, I'll read, this is the first word in Exodus 1, when it talks about the wall of the sons of Israel, and then it has their names. The raven, it's all in that movie there. But this is the wall to make amed to. This is where your word accommodate, accommodations come from. They're all standing on the wall. The wall make amid to all hell of the fell. Bear, oval, raven, gad, Asher, and so you see that a curse ain't necessarily a hex. A curse and a hex, two different things. A curse is a word that your mama slap you for saying. Hell and the fell and Ruru. And then down here they'll have this other word for Ruru. It's the same. It just doesn't have the E on the end. But it starts with the A, so it's still read backwards, and it's Ruru. Ruru, the ace, raise Jose. Pistol and musk, 2 of it, you. Most handy chores, uses in stir to anew. Clamma has whamma to name. So Ruru, the ace, is one below the joker, one above the king and one below the joker. The race, Jose. Jose is Jose increases. The race to increase. And the pistol and musk. Pistol is a word for dick, and musk is the stank that comes out of a muskrat, a musk deer, pistol, word for a penis, and it's used in brewing up curses. You see it here in this old Scottish language book, where they use in this old skink, they use a bull's pistol and musk, and 2 of it you. That means you are the one of it, the race of raise, or to elevate, to grow. The pistol and musk. Most handy chores. It's exactly what it means. Most handy chores, uses in stir to anew, to on new, to make new. And clamor is all the people are talking at once. The clamor has to whammer to cry to, name. So the name is amen backwards. It's the name, and what it means is is this is where, when you write this curse, this is where you add their name, whoever's name you want. So let's try this out, see if it works. Ruru the ace, raise Jose, pisselin musk to of it you. Most handy chores uses in stir to a new. Clamma has whamma to Biden. Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.